When people think of you, especially the ones that grew up around you, I'm getting somebody fading, like walking forward into this unknown path and it slowly fades because they can't come with you. I feel like you have a lot of people wondering how the hell you got to where you're at, considering you came from the same place as them. You know, what you're giving me is Stark from Bleach, the Primera Espada, who, yeah, he had, like, a spiritual pressure so intense that, like, other oh my god, what were they called? Hollows, they couldn't be around him, they would die, and because they would just get crushed, right? It's like, I don't it's not that you're just so above your peers, it's not really that, but you are different. You're different than your peers, and I feel like despite coming from the same place, you've walked an unimaginably different path right in front of them, and I feel like growing up, this was a source of ridicule almost because people can't make sense of what they don't know, and so when they don't know something that they can't make sense of, they wanna make fun of it to, think of it like poking in the dark. At least they can get somewhat of a read on it, but not not you. Like, even the jokes fell flat because they didn't have enough info. You didn't have enough info either, right? Like, you didn't even know what was going on until it started making sense, and I feel like as you grew up, the pieces fell into place, and they were, like, chaotic, and honestly a bit enraging, right? Because everybody else seemed to have some preformed shit, right? They had a preformed path. It seemed like they were popped up on this planet and there was already a story written. And it's like you're being asked to write your own. And I feel like in the beginning there was a lot of what do you call like pushback from you? Like, I don't get it. I don't want this. Take it. And it's like, no, right? You are told no, you will walk the path, and you did, because it's not that you were forced to take on a burden bigger than you, right? No, if this was tailor-made for you. With Temperance here, it's giving me the prima matera, so it's like, think of it like this, everybody around you, if we're thinking think of, like, glass, okay? So you got, like, a molten glass blob, right, that can technically be formed into any structure your mind can imagine. Everybody else was given, like, I don't know, a glass horse, a glass rocking horse. Think of it like that, you know? The path that they walk was preformed for them, and I feel like that you thought this was unfair until you realized what gift you were actually given, right? With Temperance here, do you see that bridge? The bridge is not crossable, it is broken, you're not getting across that shit unless you have something that you're able to form into a bridge, but you can't turn a pre-made glass figurine into that bridge. It's like, but you had this blob of molten glass that maybe not because glass is weak, but well, it could be strong. Just roll with it, right? Just roll it. And you can bridge the gap, right? It's like not everybody can do that. Not everybody's supposed to do that, but whatever this insurmountable gap was made for you to cross, and I feel like this is what kind of like this is when the fade out started. This is when everybody's like, "Wait, where are you going?" And I feel like you didn't explain a thing because you had no clue until you got it, right? Until you crossed the bridge. It's giving me this was the trial itself, like you taking the risk on yourself. Are you going to write your own story? Or are you going to despair that one hasn't been written for you? And it's giving me that through the despair of feeling like everybody else had something that you did not, you realize that you were given a gift that was beyond anything that a preformed life could ever give you, you know? We have the air of discovery with the Knight of Wands. This is the fire that pushes one to discover more about life. It's giving me the pyramids always give me an initiation of sort, and I feel like crossing that bridge was exactly what that was, right? Because no one was gonna do it for you. Spirit was never gonna do it for you. That's not how this works, right? It's like they give you the tools, but if you don't know what to do with the tools, then oh well. But this is giving me like the sheer confusion of it all instead of like actually putting you in a place of, like, inactionable despair. It was giving me, like, a hot despair, like boiling water, like, you were g it was eventually something was gonna give, and you were gonna get pissed off enough to figure something out, and that's what the Knight of Wands, it gives me. It's like you have a level of explosiveness that is necessary to get one started. It's giving me like an engine. Engines are constantly combusting and exploding. It's like they're miniature, they're controlled, right? If it's not controlled, the engine will blow up. But it's controlled enough to where it gets it going, right? And it's giving me like there's something about your engine that is like the fuel of it is renewable. It's not like gasoline. Technically, gas is well, it's not renewable, it's finite, everybody knows that. We just have a lot of it. But this is giving me, like, your fuel is truly renewable. It's not a finite resource that you have to go pillage and destroy to find. You don't have to dig into the earth to get it, and you don't have to go bomb another country to get it. But that's how the world operates, right? And it's like the way you do things is drastically different despite achieving explosive, like real ass results, more so than people ever thought possible of you. And not because they thought low, it's the exact opposite. They had no clue what you're capable of. That's the whole crux. That's the whole joke here, is that while people may not have gotten it, what they never thought of was like, "Oh, that person is gonna be nothing." They just had no clue where you were going, right? So it breeds, an us versus them. They need to distance themselves to feel secure, but this was all by design. If everybody was around you cheering you on, hand holding you, you're never going to transform in the way that you needed to transform, you know? And again, not even that is guaranteed. Just because you get the push doesn't mean you'll gain the wings to fly or the ability to build a bridge to cross it. You know what I mean? We have the Four of Wands here. This is giving me somebody who is doing a job well done. This is also a union of I'm taking this as the bridge itself, because if you look at Temperance, I don't know, this is just giving me that because you were the bridge. So it's like this is the masculine and the feminine energy coming together to manifest prosperity. So it's giving me like and look, you see that little star and the little canopy? I'm telling you, like you're building the bridge. You built the bridge so well that it is nothing short of a celebration because the you falling to your death off of that bridge, if you fucked it up, it was real. It was never an illusion. It was never like, "Oh, let's make them think it'll all not work out if they don't do it right," right? No. The risk was real, but that's why it's so impressive in a way, because it's like in the dark, with no sort of like help in the same way that other people were getting help. Because not only did other people not have insight into your path because they couldn't, right? So you couldn't get that tailor-made advice from like, you know what I mean? Like people who can actually see where you're going. So they're like, hey, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. It's like a natural human thing, right? What you were thrust into was like people could not see, you could not see. They were never going to be able to see, right? So they could never give you any sort of encouragement because they're literally staring into an abyss. They have no clue, right? But it's like as you gain your confidence, your trust in you. It's like the light started to appear. It's giving me Flash from Pokemon, right? Trying to navigate that cave without the TM is hell on earth, right? But it's like once you start getting it, I don't know, the vision expands. So it's giving me like it's not that you were always walking in the dark, but you needed to do enough to become the light source itself. And you did. You did. You know? Because there was an equal opportunity for you to become the darkness. Because you know what I mean? Like, if you're confused for that long, if you're just not getting it for that long, something, again, has got to give. So it's like you reached a point where a choice was needed to be made, and you made the correct choice. Like, we get the Lovers, right? There's just so much of, like, you are the bridge itself. And it's funny because the bridge is not something that other people are able to walk over. It's like once you form the bridge and you get to the other side, like you collect all of it and you move on because you're going to need it again. And that's what I meant by renewable. But this is giving me choices here. The lovers is all about personal choices when we're not talking about romantic love. And it's more so choices born out of, like, true self-love. So this is giving me, like, once you started seeing it, you started seeing it. And it's like what was so dark and kind of just confusing just became like, once it was illuminated and you saw the actual environment you were in, you were like, "Wow, okay. You're not in the pits of hell." Like, you are actually in a sort of paradise. I feel like that your path is special because of how difficult it's been, and it's giving me when the lights turned on, it was like that was a reward in and of itself to see, like, what you have around you is actually prosperous and not destitute. I love using the word destitute, it makes me laugh, but it's giving me, like, I don't know, you're figuring something out here. Under that was the Ace of Pentacles. I'm telling you, you thought being led. You don't know where you're going because your choices are the one that are built constructing the road in front of you. So it just so happens the choices that you're making are the ones you really need to make to lead you to where you're trying to get. Like, look, it's like those movies or books that have like I don't know, you just go through a hedge and you're in another world. That's how this is coming out. Like, once you cross the bridge, it's like, where the hell are you going? And then you come up to a hedge, you go through it, and all of a sudden you're like in a whole different place. I don't know. And you know what? I feel like you starting out like Stark is interesting because he was the Espada of the aspect of death that he was loneliness, right? Not being able to be understood by like-minded or similar beings. They couldn't even be around him, let alone conversate, right? So it's just giving me, like, you kind of, like, transformed from a dark place that swallows people alive, right? That the vast majority of people, if they ever are put in that place, they'll never leave, ever. And you I don't know, it's not just because you were so used to it because you were put there to begin with, no, I feel like that it's not that easy. It's not that easy, it's not like you get used to it, right? Because what are you getting used to? There's quite literally only you and your thoughts at that point, so it's like but you can still see the wider world happening, so it's not like you are so used to that, like, that you think that's all there is, right? It's like you were put in that place knowing that there was far more the world had to offer, and it seemed like it was offering it to everybody else but you, until you realized the world was saving the best path for you as long as you had the gumption, the drive, and the brain to see what you were actually given. Because again, none of this shit is guaranteed. I have to say that. None of it's guaranteed. It's not like you were placed in that place with the like saying like, oh, they will absolutely get out of it. No, because that defeats the purpose. If it was guaranteed, what's the point of being in the place to begin with? You know what I mean? Oh, wait, let me shuffle. I love you, card. I love you, card. I love you, card. So look, we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This is the moment the eyes opened. Slightly lost my train of thought. Anyway, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This is such a weird card because the Seven of Pentacles upright is about identifying something that's holding you back. This would be not knowing what is holding you back despite it kind of technically being in front of you, but the light isn't on, like I was saying earlier. So, what you do in the Seven of Pentacles is like you have to it's not what I mean, it would be a leap of faith, but it would be like I have to go forward even though I can't see what's right in front of me. And it's like it would be a faith thing, like but a trust in yourself because that's what was required, you know? If you didn't have the trust in yourself, like, you would get, I don't know, caught up in the gears, grinded. But this is giving me, like, once you cross a certain threshold, the light did turn on, and then you saw Um, because I don't know, this when I look at this, like, I know, people in the comments the last time I asked, I was like, "What the hell is this?" We're talking about, like, it looks like a biblically accurate angel, which, yes, I would see that, but it's also giving me, like, a gyroscope or something, like, moving simultaneously, all the parts are moving, and then it's like once you got closer and then figured out that, like, you're the key, they all stop and kinda, like, fold down, revealing a path forward. And it's like the thing in the center is almost like a portal, and everything that's guarding it is guarding it by using the misunderstanding of the person in front of it. And so it's like when you went in there trusting, knowing yourself, it's like that the way opened, right? And then you go through it, and then you get here. This 4 of Pentacles, I love the 4 of Pentacles because it can definitely talk about, like, a Scrooge energy, but in this case, it's the opposite. It's about finally gaining a foothold. It's about finally gaining a true kind of like a grasp on something. You know, like you're able to start building, you're able to start moving. It may be in its infancy, but it's like the light was turned on enough for you to see exactly what was going on, you know? And this is called the Lord of Earthly Power, ruled by the Sun in Capricorn. So it's giving me like it has purpose in it. It's a foundational thing that you've done here. Something that is again, it sets the course for the rest of the journey. Is your ability to kind of like walk into the unknown, but I don't know because it's not just blind faith either. It's like you definitely have an intelligence and an intuition on like what you need to do because those are the eyes in the dark essentially. But it's like, just because you have that doesn't mean you have the ability to trust it fully. If you hesitate, you're gonna get eaten up, right? It's giving me one of those high stakes things where it needs somebody who can be calm under pressure. It needs somebody who's not gonna freak out just because they don't have everything right in front of them. And so it's like it makes sense, you're beginning, because it's like when you're placed in that type of pressure, right, where you cannot find a soul to relate to, it thrusts you inward. And so when some people do that, have that happen to them, they crack, they break. But it's like you instead decided to get to know who you are. And this again set up the whole thing, right? And this also gave me the Prima Matera because look, like he's holding on to these things, he's building in the background, but these don't look like bricks. They don't look like the crane, but they become them. You know what I mean? And so it's giving me like you really do know exactly the like deck of cards you hold. And like you may have not known in the beginning what to do with it, but you sure as hell know what to do with it now. And it's like it's real. Like people really expected you to, like, I don't know, end up like I said, they can't really predict it because they don't know, but you know how people automatically go to the negative? They feel like if they can't see your path, it's because you don't have one. But now and look, smoke is clearing in the background in these. It's in a lot of these cards, there's a lot of clarity in these cards. So I feel like that's what's kinda happening right now, there's, like, more clarity, and do you see, like, the cosmos in the back? Not even the regular sky, that's what I'm talking like, where you're at is different. The life path may have been lonely at times, but I feel like it's worth it, right? Especially where you've ended up crowned. Let me see, we got this Two of Wands. See, this is finally realizing, look, look, bitch. It's like a more formed version of this. It's like, again, once you gained the sight to see it, it yielded its secrets to you, and now you used it to build. That's what I mean by the Prima Terra. Like, you're giving me the alchemy vibes. Spiritual alchemy, like life alchemy, though. Like you being able to turn detrimental things into, I don't know, a way forward. Stagnancy means nothing to you. I feel like stagnancy just lets you know that there's something that needs to be fixed or there's something that needs to be realized. You you don't take any roadblock as a stopping point. That is the ultimate win of the path that you're on, is you realized a fundamental truth, is that just because you're stopped in your tracks does not mean you're not meant to move forward. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, like, you do have the world in your hand of it, in the palm of your hand, like, you have a limitless possibility. And I keep coming back to the prime of Terra because that's what this is giving me, it looks like that. So, whatever happened before, I feel like you have a very good clarity on why, you know? To the other people, probably not. Do they need to? Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. There's something to where you've been freed from having society check you because you're so not above society because that sounds pretentious, but you are definitely not on the same wavelength, right? Basically, they're over there doing a bunch of shit you would never, that you would never do, right? And yes, it sets you apart. Does that make you better? Not necessarily, but I don't really feel like that's the goal here. The goal isn't to be better because for you to be better, you have to directly compare your path to another, and you don't do that. You're kind of like tunnel visioned on you, and it's funny because this is anybody else that would do this would be considered like selfish, but the your path is so different that it allows you to do that. Like it allows you to do it. You know, and you need to. It's not an option. Like if you take your eyes off of the prize in favor of another prize, not only will you not get that prize, but you'll lose your own, and you know this, and it's not a punishment, it's more like spirit telling, like, what you have in front of you is pure gold, it's not it's priceless, and in the hands of another, it would become worthless, but in your hands, it is priceless, so that leads me here to this King of Pentacles. This is literally the evolution. If you're not here already, this is where you're going. This is where you're going to end up. A whole city built by hand by you, you know? The King of the King of Pentacles is definitely like the place that you are coming to though. Think I don't know, this is represented heavily by Taurus, and Taurus, once they get theirs, it's like they bask in it almost, and that's what the King of Pentacles is giving me, like, somebody appreciating, like, all that they've been through because you literally had to do it alone. So it's like there is no one else that gets the credit. No one gets the credit but you, and in any other circumstance, this would be seen as, like, evil or, like, you would be like a villain, but because of the uniqueness here that you have willingly taken on, no one can say they made you. No one can say they built shit. No one can. And this leads us to this card, the magician. This the who else other than the temperance angel knows exactly what to do with the prime of Matera? The magician is the one that utilizes it because it's like a stem cell, right? If you wanna take it to the biology, a stem cell is a it's produced by your bones, and basically they get programmed by the body and sent to where it needs to be sent to become a liver cell, a heart cell, stuff like that. Like, you have that to where if you need something done or if you wanna add something to the already bustling town, right, you have, like, the raw material to turn it into whatever you want. So, keep that in mind, collected, because I'm telling you that not only does spirit see this, not only do you see this, but people are actually starting to get it, right? The smoke cleared for you long ago, but I feel like because you're settling and you're actually, like, I don't know, you're taking your seat. It's like now the scales are falling from others and they realize that like, "Oh, wow, like, you've been on some other stuff this whole time."